So let's start using Snap. Now, right here I have Safari, which is just my web browser, and we're going to bring the Snap web page. That is snap, S-N-A-P, .berkeley.edu. It's hosted out of University of Berkeley, California at Berkeley, and that's all you have to do to get it to run. Now, when you go to that website, what you get is kind of an introduction to Snap. So right here is a little program, um, and right here is a section of it, okay, and that actually returns this result. So you kind of get a feel for what can happen. Here's a more complicated program, and this is the result of it, okay, when you run it. And that's nice. That actually gives you an idea of what you can do. But we're going to run it, and to do that, just scroll down until you see this big run button, and we'll click on that. Something else you can do, but I won't do it right now, is click on this blue button underneath. And what that does is it runs Snap, but it adds some extra blocks that are pretty useful. So generally, this is actually what I run. But for now, I'll just bring the one that has the fewest number of blocks. Okay, here we go. It's loading. And there it is. Okay, so what we have is up here is the different kinds of commands that you can do. Okay, so there's 8 different kinds of commands, and we'll look at all of those. Right here are some of the blocks. So these are the blocks under motion. If I click here on looks, then these are the blocks that have to do with how the sprite looks. And so on. Okay, like I said, we'll go through that. This is the area where I can drag and actually create a program. And this is where the sprite lives. Okay, this is the block that simply has all of my sprites. But just to show you, let's start with motion. And here's what we can do. Now, look at the sprite, okay? What I'll do is I'll just click on this box. And I think you saw this sprite move. Let's make it more obvious. Let's not make that 10 steps. Let's make that 100 steps. If I click on it, oh yeah, look at that. It moved by quite a bit. Now, I can also turn. I can make it turn 15 degrees. I can click on that again, and so I've turned now probably 45 degrees. Okay, I can turn in the other direction, so I can go clockwise or counterclockwise. I can make it point in a direction. So what that means is that instead of turning by 15 degrees from where I'm at, I can just make it go to, for example, left. Boom, there it goes. If you don't like any of these settings, you can just click the blank one and type in what you want to point to. So let's say 17.5 degrees. Why? I don't know, but that's what that would look like. Okay. If nothing else, that tells you 0 is actually straight up. Okay, and there it is. 0 is up, and 17.5 degrees is a little bit to the right. Okay, so that's the coordinate system that it's using. I can also tell it to point towards, for example, the mouse pointer. Hello. Oh, sorry, I gotta click on that. The mouse pointer is over here, so it's gonna click in that direction. That might be useful in different circumstances. Likewise, I can say go to. Let's go to 0, 0. That's the starting position. Okay. Again, I can make it go to the mouse pointer. Okay, whoa, it moved all the way over here. That's actually not good. Let's go back to 0, 0. Okay, I can glide instead. So, for example, I can tell it to glide to position 100, 200, and to take, let's say, 5 seconds to do that. If I, there he goes. Very, very slow movement, kind of beautiful. 200 is off of the screen, okay? I can change individual components, like change x by 10, change y by, let's change y by minus 100 so that it goes to someplace where we can see it. Okay. All right, I think I want to set x to 0. Set y to 0. There it is. Okay. Now change x by minus 100. I can change y by 20, for example. And yep, there it goes. Okay, so those are just lots of things that I can do. By the way, I can also select on these, and it'll show me what the x position, the y position, the direction. I can see all of that information, or I'd rather not. Okay, so that's the that's what we have. Okay, it's a pretty cool environment. Some of you may be having flashbacks to turtle graphics from Logo. That is exactly what this is, okay? So we'll make that even more clear when we choose the pen, okay? Now, one thing I have been doing is I've been showing you how to run the commands from right here. This is great because you can test them out even before you build the program. But of course, you can use them in the program area. So let's do that. Let's move by 100 steps and then let's turn in a direction. Notice that I'm just clicking this underneath. That's what we mean by sequential programming. And instead of 15 degrees, I want to turn by 90 degrees. And then what I want to do is move 100 steps and turn again by 90 degrees. Okay. We'll move another 100 steps and we'll turn by 90 degrees, always in the same direction. And I think you can see what this is going to end up being. We'll move by 100 steps, and then we'll turn by 90 degrees. And of course, what I have built is something that should look a lot like a rectangle. So let's see if that works. We'll click here. It's actually doing what I asked it to do. The problem is that I can't see it. It's moving, 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 moving. I'm going back to that position way, way, way too fast. Okay, so let's slow it down a little bit. Okay, and I can do that by sticking in a wait command. Again, I can put this anywhere I want. Okay, that's part of the graphical style. Okay, so let's see if this is better. There you go. Okay, now I could actually see it do its thing. So yeah, feel free to experiment. Right? It's a little subtle that sometimes it's too fast for us. Now, typically, of course, we don't want it to go in a circle. What we want to do is we want to see it move. The way that we do that is by telling it to drop a pen. So let's do that at the very top. We'll drop the pen and we'll have it move. Okay, so now when we do this command, you see that it's actually leaving a circle for us to look at. Okay, now I wouldn't even need the wait commands, but I wanted you to see how all these pieces fit together. Okay, all right, that's nice. I can draw squares. Okay, of course you can draw all sorts of shapes. And one useful command here is clear, so that I can do this and it won't, draw over itself or just show me slight variations. But let's run it to make sure this works as expected. That looks very reasonable. And we have kind of our first program.